This is your daily market recap for Thursday, June 22nd, 2023. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Thursday, June 22nd, 2023. Let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, please check out the Discord room. Links in the description below. A lot going on, as we talked about. The VIX, people say it's broken. I'm telling you right now, when you hear that narrative in the news, you need to be suspect of it because, again, at highs and lows, the market tries to convince people to hold for longer or sell at the lows. And I'm telling you right now, that constant headline that I keep seeing everyone parrot is going to be the downfall to people who are not paying attention to the market and doing what it does best. Take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. And if you're not paying attention and you're not listening and you're not understanding that stuff and you think things just going to go up straight forever or at lows or we're going to go down to the ground, literally zero at the lows, and everyone's bearish, I'm telling you right now, you have to understand the psychology of this. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Please follow on Twitter. Always posting what we think is interesting. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, YouTube, like, follow, hit the subscribe. Guarantee you'll get plenty of the videos. They're all here, back to basics, but I also have it on the tradingagent.com website. And the videos go from more beginner to advanced level. And I keep reminding people, if you're looking for a high yield, like just a little quick tangent for your savings, you want to get under the FDIC insurable amount. I'm telling you, Marcus 5.15% referral. Every time you share it with someone, 5.15 goes back to 4.15, and every time rates have gone up, the promotion code has kept up with it. So I started with 3.5, and now I'm up to 5.15, even though it's been months and months, but the promotion codes move with the rates. It's great. So it's not like you're locked in. If they start offering better, you get better. It's awesome. If you have any questions, again, please reach out. Always here to help. Let's jump into it. Fed Watch tool. We've talked about this a dozen times, looking like a rate hike in July, but just be aware. This is subject to change vastly. Bitcoin, talked about popping, holding the trend, breaking the downtrend, getting tired up at 30,000. Keep an eye on it. Again, personally don't have a strong feeling on what it's going to do. I personally think a lot of these stuff like commodities, they're just going to be chopping like oil, going nowhere fast. Natural gas, stuck. I mean, this is what's going to happen in my opinion. I've said this a million times. These things will probably bottom when the Fed pivots. Well, they're anticipating a rate hike. As of right now, we're not in the pivot mindset. So if you think your stuff is going to go to the moon shortly, warning you now, keep your expectations low. The dollar, said watch the 50, 100-day cross. At this point, volatility in the dollar is more important, right? Because you can see the dollar go up and down when the market pulls back. But one of the things that I'm trying to explain to people is like, we don't know which way it's going to be in that case. But I think there's a lot of things going on overseas. The credit contagion has already started. It's just a slow process. TLT, bonds, talked about big trading range. I really wouldn't get that excited. Some people are talking about wanting to buy more. If I'm looking to buy more, I'm setting an alarm at 100. I'm expecting it to go fill the gap, maybe even lower to unlock more liquidity. Then maybe it can go higher. That to me would be the ideal way to trap bears at the lows and play this game. And if it doesn't go back down to the lows, where else would you buy? Wait for the breakout on big volume. The longer something trades in a range and then breaks out, the bigger the potential move. So keep that in mind. The VIX, again, VIX domination. I mean, I'm amazed that they're continuing to do what they're doing, and the market's just kind of chopping here. Again, don't believe the narrative. Do not believe the narrative. I'm telling you, the VIX isn't broken. The dealers are playing games. Talking about the VIX, right? Holding up. The VIX should be down in the 70s. It's not. The VIX is the VIX. Something is amuck in the dealer market. Again, you can put your finger on it and say, for sure. Just be aware. It comes down to simplicity, right? Something is going on to get people to convince that the VIX is broken, the market's going endlessly higher. And guess what? It's not. We talked about professional gap on Tuesday after the holiday. Tops during OPEX and first of the month. Talked about that phenomenon. Here you go. Looks like it's coming down. QQQ. Again, dropped pretty quickly. Are you surprised it didn't rally back some? I mean, again, this is the thing that's hard in a downtrend or an uptrend. It doesn't go up every day. And so people get really confined in the idea that something has to move immediately in their favor all the time, nonstop, straight line moves. And I'm telling you right now, probably not going to happen. It's just going to take time. And when it's ready, and just trade around it. but give yourself ample time. Like, don't be buying next week's options anticipating the market to crash 20% or something crazy. Like, that's throwing lottery tickets. IWM, we talked about lagging versus leading. It should be leading, right? It should be over 199, 200 range, and stuck. Not a sign of strength. DIA, same thing. Been going nowhere, sideways. Dow components. I mean, remember, Q's up way up here. SPY, the stuff just stuck. Remember, tech has been leading. There has not been a follow through in all sectors. Gold, which led up, leading down now. Liquidity coming out of the market. I've warned people again. Second quarter sucks for gold. Look what's happened since literally the start of the second quarter. April, mid-April OPEX, chop, 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 flop. Oh, but damn, it was gold. I'm like, all right, I don't care. I'm not going to chase it after a huge run. No, but damn, okay. Told once the 100-day breaks, look out below. Look out below. Silver, warn people. Silver leads gold a lot. Look at it. Looks like absolute dog crap. Zzz. Now it's probably oversold short term, but I wouldn't buy it. GDX, again, we talked about miners lead, double top. Here we go, making new lows. Watch the 200-day, probably goes a little bit below it. But in a sense, just trade around it. If you're short from the highs, ain't nothing wrong with it. GDXJ, we talked about juniors lead even more. They made lower highs. They confirmed the bearishness. Here it comes down, right? AG, interesting. I can't believe it's at $5, but you know what? I'm not going to complain. Come down more. Love it. AEM, talked about it breaking lows. Not surprised. Here you go. 200-day, come on down. Let it do its thing. A lot of these names, just let them come in. Newmont, one of the mega miners, couldn't even get back up to the January highs in April. Looks like trash at the 20-day. Sorry, pass. Leave it. Same thing. I mean, a lot of these names, again, I've talked about this and I'll say it again. When the market gets ripped, they will destroy and shred miners. And I'm telling you right now, if you hold through it, it'll be the worst decision you ever make, because once they pivot to push liquidity back in, these names will get absolutely destroyed, because they struggle with credit stuff too. And when they do, I'm telling you right now, you will pick some of these names up on discounts that will boggle your mind. Taiwan Semi, again, we talked about tech blow off tops, a lot of candles that probably won't retest. Exuberance, look out, look up above and fails, chops, whatever. Here you go. Said 20-day was coming. Here you go. Holding it for now. Not surprised. I mean, it goes from 111 down to 101. Probably due to bounce. Micron, same thing. Blow off top, right? Not getting back there under the 20-day. Looks worse. Better short. AMD looks like crap. Same thing. Retest highs. Boom. Below the 20-day. Said probably watch the 50-day. Watch the 105 area. NVIDIA, the leader of leaders. I mean, you look at the distribution going on here by the insiders and big hedge funds and institutions, but they don't want to advertise that until what? They're done. Hits the 1.382 extension, holding up, can't deny its strength. Intel had a nice little run. Again, drops, 10% in a couple days. All right, not surprised. A little doji here, maybe doji sandwich. Keep an eye on this stuff. SMH tried to make a run back towards the all-time highs. Again, it looks like it's a little, rubber band man theory. Gets more tired. It's looking a little worn out. Watch what happens in 20-day. Watch what happens when we get down into, I would say, this 146. Oh, come on. Give me... you get what I'm saying. Watch what happens when it gets into here. There's a congestion zone. When you zoom out, you can see, right? Zoom. Well, zoom. You've got major congestion here, right? No wonder we retested all-time highs. Area, fail. Maybe it's lining up some sort of head and shoulders top, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Maybe it rallies a little bit into the first of the month. Could that be a possibility? Keep an eye on it. Adobe, nice run. Absolutely nice run. Can't deny it. But again, another extension fib hit and blow off candle that I think is not retesting. Apple making new all-time highs. People talking about hitting 190. We'll see. I mean, you got the fib extension up there. It just kind of is what it is. A lot of people have in their mind that it has to roll over right away. I mean, this is probably how they're killing the VIX, right? Holding Apple up, right? Apple's such a large part of the market. Amazon announces AI today, of course, so it rallies. AIO, right? Filling gaps. Again, could it fill that gap up there? I don't know. Either way, if you had a short, you got stopped out, watch what happens at the 128 loan, because this could be a bull trap where it breaks out and then comes back. CRM, CEO selling $100 million worth. AI, yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, again, this whole theme of just banking on AI consistently has been priced in. So just giving you that idea. Google, same thing, rallies nicely on AI. We talked about this bottoming out, chopping out. If it broke out, it could go higher. Now you're back into the next upside target zone. Well, it's looking a little tired. looking a little tired. Lower lows, lower highs. Nice little reversal here. So could it bounce back to the 20-day, which it's kind of doing. And then what? I don't know. We'll see. Meta, again, just because they have AI, it's holding up pretty well. People are pretty dumb about this one, in my personal opinion. I mean, you're paying crazy valuations for something that's just a joke. But it is what it is. I mean, you can't just, if you want to short it, define your risk. Microsoft, same thing. Blow off candle, gap down, watch the 20-day, chopping around. It's trying to get back towards all-time highs. Can it? NDAQ, we've talked about this a billion times. The NASDAQ Composite Index is not going to have the same volumes it has because the tech bubble is ending. Companies in that realm are not going to be trading abundantly. People go, oh, you're crazy. It's like study the past, repeating past. There's cycles back to the future, literally. MicroStrategy rising with Bitcoin, not surprised, but a little tired day up here, 2-day range. I'd be watching what happens if it can get over this 335, 336. Could it go higher? We'll see. Netflix rallies on. No more password sharing. Very, I would consider very like multi-gap-ish, very exhaustive, hitting some fibs on the weekly and the monthly. It's probably the top there. Roblox can't get out of its own way. Again, I think it's a buyout target, but it's just going to go nowhere. Tesla, we talked about it, blow off topping yesterday. Railroad tracks, well, it opens low, pops back. Is that surprising? I mean, it can do that at highs, right? Coming off the highs, right? It can do that. Just be aware. Just be aware. Again, if you're shorted from the highs, absolutely hold on to it, but trade around it, or just be cognizant. Letter X. X marks the spot, right? We talk about commodities should be like rallying. I mean, they're dead. Dead cat bounces, hit 200-day, backs off. Nucor, same kind of thing. Hits a bottom. Talked about the range. Look where it's going, just range to range. Range to range. Distributive, chopping, keeping on it. Caterpillar, talked about shorting this one up here, filling the gap. I mean, you wish it would have gotten the 257s, but if you shorted the professional gap, look for bounces. Like yesterday, that would have been a great gap to short, or sorry, spot to short. Again, don't chase, but let it come to you. VALE, another global growth monster name that should be rallying. I mean, look at this thing. It's not even close, but it bounces. Okay. We've talked about this. If you're not familiar with that, things don't go down in straight lines and move up in straight lines, you're out of your mind. Arrow, copper name that's been stronger, holding up, chopping. Again, I like this name when everything rotates back into commodity. Same thing with CCJ. Talked about failed breakout. You got to be careful here with this gap down today. I know it's a doji, but with today's action and the market rallying, I mean, this looks like a blow off top, long wick, retest. Remember, we talked about a lot of retest, chop, gap down. If you take out this 30 area, 20-day coming ASAP. And I'm ASAP Rocky. CF, here you go. I mean, we talked about oversold bounce, oversold bounce. Yeah, it was coming. Again, like these names later on, but they might be painting a floor for a while. Just keep that in mind. Mosaic, same thing, 20-day painting a floor. NTR, they all look very same. They were oversold, right? Bouncing, chopping. We'll see what happens. AA, again, another global growth leader. Aluminum, stuck in the mud, going nowhere fast. Should tell you something. Financials. All right, here we go. We talked about them starting to crack, right? The gap down of the test of the 200-day, holding the 20-day so far, but that looks like the top. We talked about the 33, 32, 33 area, 32, high 30, like being resistance. Perfect. JP Morgan, here you go. Talked about printing the highs, could fail. Boom. That's a great start. Now, again, if it rallies a little bit, don't be surprised. It's just, if you nail it up at the top, set your stop, let it run. Morgan Stanley looking a little weaker. Look at this. Gap, 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 go. Looks like an M here. Left M, right M, whatever. Camel top. Goldman Sachs. Slacking. Look at that. It doesn't look that good, right? KRE. Now, we talked about dead cat bounce. Like, everybody hated him and shorted, right? Here's a capitulation. Here's your retest. Rallies back into what? High volume areas. Getting tired. Can't get over it. Backing off again. Again, banks lead. Which way they look like they're going. XBI, we talked about this, retesting highs. A lot of things that just did this. Watch the channel, the 20-day. Is it about to fail? Your question, the question's good is mine. The answer, I don't know. It looks like it. Solar, we've talked about. Oil and gas going nowhere. Solar is priced to perfection. This index, watch what happens in the 68, 67 area. Goodbye. ENPH, we talked about this dead cat bounce to the 50-day. Again, I think there's better names to short out there, but don't be surprised if it plays some games before it drops. Sedge, this one was the one that we talked about. That was a better short up in the 310, 315 area. Look at it. Breaking the trend line. Decent little volume. For solar, again, we talked about this one popping on and fake up, right? Fake up. buying a company that was worth $35 million. Who cares? Talked about a novice gap. Said it would fill the gap at some point. You filled the gap. Now what? This is hard. End of the month, it could be chopping. Again, if you're short it, trade around it, your position. But you clearly, if you got good entry, let it run. HYG, we talked about high yield debt not acting well. High yield debt not acting well, right? Oil. Here you go. What's going on here? Chop and chop, chop, chop. UNG. Again, people really ask every day. I'm just like, leave it alone. I don't even want to look at it. XOP. Now, we've talked about this one, like holding the 115, 114 area, bouncing, the 100-day being really, really important. I mean, it looks like it's done. It's just a matter of time before it opens the door for bigger down. ExxonMobil, we talked about if you shorted at the monthly trend line in yellow, it's just holding before it folds, in my opinion. Occidental, I've said this a billion times. Buffett doesn't care if the stock goes up. He's not going to hold it up. He's selling covered calls. He's loving it because the premiums blow up every time he announces he buys more shares. The call options get more expensive. People load into them, and then he just sells covered calls, and it goes down. He'll buy more shares. It's literally the best game ever. But if you don't know it, hit me up. I'll explain it to you. PXD, again, was a buyout target from ExxonMobil. Chopping around. Again, this name just doesn't really like it's confirming such. EQT, we talked about some of the natural gas names rallying. You're getting up here into some resistance. How much further? I'd be careful. We'll end it with again with Flex LNG. It's tough to say for sure. Again, I like this name lower. I think we're going to be a massive exporter of natural gas over time. So if you're familiar with that, you understand that, you think about it. Congress is buying a ton of it. Natural gas prices need to stay low for a prolonged period of time for what? Build up the demand and the infrastructure to be used in the future, right? So keep an eye on this one. Again, long term, I mean, I think they got 8-9% yield. Love it. Let it come in. Let it come in. Because again, they will throw the baby out with the bathwater. All right, if you have any questions, again, please reach out. Appreciate all the love, support, all the donations. You guys are the best. You know, I try to be honest here and give you exactly what I think is going to happen. Ultimately, you make the decision. You have to have the power, just like you have to own your decisions. Because again, I'm going to be wrong. You're going to be wrong. Everyone's going to be wrong. The biggest money in the world is going to be wrong. It's how you handle when you're wrong. So if you have any questions, again, discipline stuff, it's all in my website. It's also on the Discord room. If you're ever unsure, please reach out. Here to help. Love you guys. Have a great night. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, your PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.